In this tutorial, we will be looking at 3 different ways to create a frame in wxPython. We're going to start with what I consider the stupid example. Sometimes when you're creating a frame and you look up for an example, you see something kind of goofy like this, where someone basically just creates everything at the same indentation level. So here we create the app object, and now we're going to create a frame object. The frame object really doesn't need anything other than passing its parent as nuns, because it's going to be the top level parent, and you need to give it a title. We'll just call it test for now, and we want to make sure that we show the frame as well, and then we start the application's main loop. That's really all you need to be able to do to start a frame. So there we have it. We've got our little test frame, everything works, but this code is really ugly and very hard to extend. So let's change this up and make the frame into its own class. We'll just call it my frame, and we'll inherit from the frame. There's actually some argument about whether to use super or just to use the init method. I'm used to using the init method myself, but it's up to you. So we're still going to call this test, so let's go ahead and capitalize it. And technically you should really have a panel on everything, as it helps provide the tab ordering correctly, and it'll also make the frame look correct on all operating systems that you run it on. So we'll make this a little bit smarter down here at the bottom. Let's see. We want this to actually be an instance of the frame class we just created. We won't need this anymore. And this should work, I believe. Give us the same thing that we had earlier. I must have something messed up here because it's complaining. There we go. Alright. So yeah, that gave us the same thing again. And this allows us to add lots of cool stuff, like we can add a button much more easily without putting everything on the same line. We could actually add event handling much easier as well. So if we run this, we'll have a nice little button that doesn't do anything. Well, we would if I had the equal sign there. Fortunately, this little debugger tells me exactly what I did wrong. There we go. So we have a little button. But I want to take this one step further and actually put the panel into its own class, as I find that especially helpful in separating my code. So we'll go ahead and do that, show you how to do that as well. The panel always needs a parent, and the parent in this case is actually the frame, which we'll be passing in here momentarily. Let's see, we call that press me. And now we just need to go down here and delete stuff. Change this to become our instance of the myPanel class, and we'll delete this reference because we don't need it anymore. if we run this, we should have something very similar. So now we have everything separated out into their own classes, basically, except for the button. And normally you don't need to do the button itself. This allows us to turn the panel into its own module if we needed to. So if this panel class got extremely complicated and long, you could actually just copy and paste it into its own module and then import it. That just makes things really, really easy, and that's why I recommend doing it this way. Now you know how to create a frame. Thanks for watching.